We are live. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are live. And this evening on the Huddle evening, let's see, brother stuck on Wednesday. Let's take that. Let's do that over. This morning on the Huddle, I have a question for you. Are you a content creation or just a good regular male or female who wants to be productive in your life, but you got some struggles and challenges just like me and you trying to balance everything? Well, this morning on the Huddle, we're going to be talking about 5 important tips on how to be more productive, not just in content creation as a creator, but be more productive in our life, in our career, and with our family. So do me a favor, grab yourself a cup of coffee, huddle up. It's time for the Huddle. Praise the Lord, everyone. Welcome to the Huddle. I'm your host, Walter Strong. If you're new here and you want to broaden your reach, your impact, and income through online video, I welcome you to the show. And in this morning, as we said, we're going to be sharing 5 important tips on how to be more productive, not just in content creation, but being more productive in life. But it's not just me who's going to be sharing it. We've brought a special guest this morning who's going to be able to break down and answer questions that we have towards the end of the stream. So get your questions ready. But who's really just going to break down some real practical tips for me and you on content creation. And though I don't have her bio up right now in front of me, here's what I will tell you. I've been knowing this individual since September of last year. And to see her journey as a content creator and creating content, she just completed her 30th live stream episode just last night. And to see where she started to where she is now is a true testament of someone when you put in the work to want to be able to start creating content, the growth that you see in that journey is marvelous. It's just marvelous. And so she is a content creator. She is definitely an established public speaker. She is a minister. But most importantly, she has, in my life, she has become a great friend and partner in the journey of content creation. So I want to welcome to everyone, to to those who've in the Huddle community that know her, and to those of you who are meeting her for the first time, Miss Florence Donald from Equip Institute. Good
Well, good
morning, ma'am.
morning. Good morning. Good morning. Glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation. It's very kind of you.
I am truly honored that you've accepted and graced us with some of your time this morning on the Huddle. I know this is, I guess, your first formal interview on the Huddle. I know you've been on before with community takeovers, but this is like your first formal official, and so I'm excited to have you on. Before we get to the chat and see who's there, just let our audience know who you are and how you found your passion in content creation and productivity.
Okay, great. Well, of course, my name is Florence Donald. On YouTube, I'm known as Equip Institute, which has, I was given a message years ago that my charge in life is to equip people for where they want to go. And I get great pleasure when I see and experience someone who gets the aha moment to turn around where they are to get on the path where they want to be. So the show started because for years I taught and still do teach offline people productivity principles and how to use systems and tools. And I was encouraged by someone, Walter Strong, who gave me a gentle but firm push off of a cliff to get out here. And I started not knowing anything about live streaming. And I've fell in love with the community first, and I'm still learning how to do live streaming effectively. But every time I come on, I get a new skill or I sharpen a skill. And productivity is like that. You get a new skill or you sharpen an existing skill and you just keep going. So that's my passion, and I can talk about it all day, every day.
Mm. See, I don't know what you're talking about being pushed. I have nothing. I had nothing to do with this. I just was a friend who saw greatness in someone that just needed some encouragement to come from behind the scenes, to stop being a hidden figure and to just be a woman of greatness. Just saying. Just saying.
Well, thank you.
Just saying.
But
Well, go ahead.
but yeah, you weren't the only one. There are some other folks who were standing right there with you, like, yeah, let's just push her on out there.
Exactly. Let's find out who some of these other individuals are. So in YouTube world of the chat, we have our good man, Ash Boland, all the way from London. Good morning, sir. How you doing? How you doing? And then, we got everyone's favorite, Tech Troublemaker. He's a troublemaker. He's a troublemaker. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this guy is truly a good troublemaker in a good way. And then our good friend, our auntie, Denise Jordan from This and That. Good morning. Good morning. And then, greatness is now in the room. The emotional CEO, Joshua. Good morning, sir. Good morning. And so we are grateful to those of you who are in the chat. If you're just joining us, we're going to be kicking off talking about 5 important great tips on how to help you to be more productive in creating not just content, but being productive in life. So let us know in the chat where you're watching us from. Give us a hashtag Team Live. We are also on LinkedIn. So those of you who are watching us on LinkedIn or are going to be watching the replay, give us a hashtag Team Replay in the comments section. So I think, Florence, we covered all the housekeeping. We got everybody. You think we're good? We're good?
Yep, we're good.
All right, let's fire up the stream deck. Get it up, fired up, fired up, fired up. Okay, boom, boom. We got everybody here. We're ready. All right, you ready to get in this content?
Ready. We're ready. We're going to do this today.
All right, my boy, my man DMX say, let's get it on. I'm sorry, too much DMX this week. Tip number 1, setting goals and deadlines to help you in your content creation and life. Give us some feedback on how we can be more effective in setting goals and deadlines as individuals and content creators.
Goal setting is really where everything starts. If you don't know where you want to go, you're never going to get there. Mm-hmm. You know, we all read Alice in Wonderland, and it was like, well, which way do I go? Well, where do you want to go? Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Then it doesn't matter the direction you go, because you're going to end up there. So the first thing is knowing, and not just knowing in your head, but mm-hmm. knowing on paper, what are your goals for content creation? It may be just for the week, mm-hmm. solely for the month, or it may be long term. If you look at the time that you're setting the goal, but first set the goal. For example, mm-hmm. I talked about it. My goal was to launch the channel by a certain date when I started. Mm-hmm. And everything that I did was around getting to that launch point. Mm-hmm. So the goal was to launch the channel. Recently, this week, I had a goal of launching a newsletter. So mm-hmm. for 2 months, every week, every action was around getting to the goal of launching the newsletter. So first, set your goals. Mm-hmm. And they don't have to be huge. I have a goal that I haven't yet worked on that one of our Huddle community members gave me, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. It means I prioritize something else before it, but I'll get there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So set your goals first and put them down where you'll see them. Put them in a planner, put them in a document, put them in a text file, put them where you're going to see them. In my mm-hmm. case, I use Evernote. That's mm-hmm. my information hub. But it doesn't have to be that. It can be whatever tool makes sense to you. Now, I will show you something because you're going to laugh.
Okay.
This is my planning system every week. I use all three of these in addition to Evernote. I
Hold on.
fundamentally need to use a pen and a piece of paper. And
Mm-hmm.
so I start scratching out, mapping out goals on paper. And this is for me weekly.
Okay.
Then the deadline part is once you know what you want to accomplish, decide when you want to accomplish it.
Mm-hmm.
If the example I'm going to give, like I said, I set a deadline to launch the newsletter. That
Mm-hmm.
was my win. And every decision I made, whether it was to add something or take something away, was to accomplish meeting that deadline.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me, I have a secret weapon. I'm a program manager. This is where I live all the time professionally. I'm accustomed to working with clients who have very stringent deadlines to accomplish a specific goal. So
Mm-hmm.
my brain is wired to think this way. Have a goal
Mm-hmm.
and then plan everything to accomplish the goal. Whether you need to take something away, we call that reducing scope in program management,
Okay.
or add something, which may mean you've got to add resources. You get three things: you got time,
Mm-hmm.
you got scope,
Mm-hmm.
you got money or resources. You can only get two of the three, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what. This is true in content creation, is true in everything. If you think of it in those three areas: time, scope, what you're going to do,
Mm-hmm.
or resources or money, at any given point, you're going to get two of the three. You're not going to get all three.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. This is good. Hey, get your questions ready towards the end of this presentation. Get your questions ready. Get a queue in front of those questions. And before we go to tip two, let me ask this follow-up question, and especially with deadlines. How often should I be reviewing my goals? How often should I be reviewing the goals that I set for my content creation? Like you mentioned your newsletter. How often were you reviewing those goals to get you to
Every
that launch point?
every week.
Mm-hmm.
Every week. Before we came on, I was sharing with you that I was doing my weekly review this morning and realized because I had put this event in the calendar, I needed to shift completing it a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
So I do a weekly review. I've done that for years and years and years. So it's a habit for me at this point. I recently shifted that weekly review time from Friday to Saturday to accommodate some other activities that are going on in my life and some other requirements. So every
Mm-hmm.
week, I get a cup of coffee, and I got it right here.
Okay.
I get in my favorite chair in the
Mm-hmm.
room in the house. I get this pile. I
Mm-hmm.
don't do this electronically. And I
Mm-hmm.
review what my goals are, where am I, what do I want to accomplish, all the big rocks to all the areas of my life, content creation. And this week I realized I needed to split that up: my home, my family, my health, my spiritual life, my relationships, everything with my job,
Mm-hmm.
everything with the business. I look at it every week. And that doesn't mean I do something in every area every week.
Mm-hmm.
But from a content creation, I have to decide, okay, I know I have a live stream show every Friday. What do I need to be doing and looking at this week for the future? I'm not looking at this week for the next week. I'm looking for the future. I shared with you earlier, I'm right now, today, I'm looking at June
Mm-hmm.
so I can figure out what adjustments I need to make before June hits.
Mm-hmm.
So that's looking at it every week, and then what do I need to do week by week? That works for me. If it doesn't work for you, you can make adjustments. But every week is my recommendation.
Mm, that's a great power tip. Great power tip. Get your questions ready. Get that Q, get that capital Q towards the end of the presentation as we get into those questions. Tip number 2, eliminating distractions. Um, what have you found very helpful um, that helps you to eliminate those distractions of notifications, emails, text messages, a loving family member, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, loving family members, sometimes you want to get rid of them. I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but they just can kind of get on your nerves. Just saying. Just saying. They can kind of get on your nerves and you be want to like go away. But in all seriousness, I am not, I don't like notifications.
Mm,
So in nearly everything, I turn all notifications off. I
mhm,
don't have notifications on text messages, phone calls, anything. I have specific hours of the day where
mhm,
do not disturb is turned on. I have it set automatically to turn on. Uh, I any social media systems. I'm in Slack and a whole both host of others, Microsoft Teams. I turn those notifications off.
mhm,
My philosophy personally is I will come look at what's going on there when I'm ready to look at it, not before.
mm,
I have a list of favorites in my phone that if I have do not disturb turned on, there are a few people who can still get to me. My family, my immediate family, they can
mhm,
still get to me.
mhm,
A few of my colleagues, they can still get to me.
mhm,
But everybody else, it'll wait. There's nothing that's going to happen
mhm,
in an hour or 2 hours, or even 6 or 7 hours that can't wait for me to get to it.
mm,
If the person is not on that list. In terms of my personal space, I may have a slightly different lifestyle than others. I don't have small children in the home and I don't have pets on
mhm,
purpose, even though I love pets. I
mhm,
don't have them on purpose because my lifestyle doesn't lend itself to taking care of them. And rather than having a pet that's relying on me,
mhm,
I
mhm,
chose not to. But if you have pets, our little fur babies,
mhm,
you got to plan for it. They don't know how not to come and, jump on you or something or ask for what they need or they're looking for. Small children, they don't know how to. So it's really critical to set up your environment and your system. One of
mhm,
the
mhm,
people that I'm working with has two small children. And so he sets up his environment knowing that at certain times he's got to do things with them,
mhm,
other times when his wife has them. And so setting up the environment. And then it sometimes is you got to just simply teach people how to treat you.
mhm, mhm, mm.
You
That's
got to
good.
teach people how to treat you. And that means informing them and showing them what's acceptable as a disturbance to you in your work time as a content creator or anything else.
Mhm, mhm,
That's get rid of all the notifications. Turn that stuff off. It does you no good.
mhm,
At some point you actually start paying attention to those notifications because it just becomes noise.
mhm, mhm.
The
That's good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
those are some tips. Teach people how to treat you by showing them, not by telling them, by showing them.
So I can't do that to my wife. I can't tell her. I just,
You
it's
know,
not.
you cannot tell her, but you can show her with love,
Mhm,
right? But in your case, you have a wife, you have a
mhm,
child at home.
mhm.
You as a family have family meetings and you talk about what are the goals and where do they fit in, right? Back to the tip number 1. What are the goals?
Yes. Mhm,
And if it's important for us to meet this goal to grow this business, then this is work time, honey. And when we accomplish this goal, here's what our family reward is,
mhm.
right?
Right, right, right.
Similarly, she has goals and it's for the family. She's saying, hey, I need you to support this thing that I'm doing over here because it's for our family. So it's all about knowing what your goals are, but you've got to fit them into your life. And
Mm-hmm.
then you teach people in your immediate circumstances and your extended family and extended circle how to treat you.
Mm-hmm.
One thing you've noticed, if I want to talk to you, more often than not, I will send you a message and ask you if you are available.
Mm-hmm.
That's very intentional. It's a rare person. There's about three people in my life that if I want them, I don't do that with. Everybody else, if I want their attention, I will ask them first, when are you available or are you available?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't reach out to them until they give me the green light to reach out to them.
Gotcha. Man, that's a great power tip. Hey, Huddle community, those of you in the chat on YouTube, LinkedIn, if you're getting great value out of this masterclass on how to be more productive in life and in content creation, do me a favor, click that thumbs up button either on YouTube or LinkedIn and share this on your favorite social media platform. There's a word called share there. If you click it, it's going to give you some options on how to share on LinkedIn within your profile, and it's going to give you some options on YouTube of how to share it either on Facebook, Twitter, or even emailing. So do me a favor, let YouTube know that this is some great content that we need to share with others so that they can become more productive and less frustrated. Tip number 3, using templates and outlines. Share with us some of your templates and outlines that's really helped you from the time you launched your live stream show. Wow, man, this is just great. And how it's helped you in your first 30 episodes.
So, this kind of gets to eliminating distractions, just so you're aware.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have a workflow that you follow, you're not distracted trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing or how this is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, I am a template person. Again, my
Mm-hmm.
career, we use templates all the time. So, they're very common to me. I don't operate really in almost anything without having some type of a workflow or a template for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, my first template in terms of content creation was I literally went and downloaded your live stream checklist. That was my very first template in terms of YouTube and content creation.
Mm-hmm.
I downloaded it, I studied it, I and I still study it because I want to understand every component and what I need to do in my environment to make that component of that checklist work.
Mm-hmm.
So having a template that you use is so critical to being efficient in your time. So my template is a Evernote document and it has what do I do before. So give you an example.
Yes.
One of my first steps is I every month I figure out what my topic of the month is. I didn't start out this way, but I've gotten to this. I've grown to it. Figure out what my main topic area for the month is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I then figure out what each topic specifically is going to be for those 4 to 5 weeks, depending on how many Fridays there are in the month.
Mm-hmm.
I then write the thumbnail copy. This is all in a checklist on a template.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I then turn that thumbnail copy, the vision for the month, over to my designer. Now, y'all, I don't have a graphic design bound in my body, so I can't design nothing. So I have some, I can't. So
Mm-hmm.
that again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So being efficient and removing distractions instead of me hurting my head trying to figure out how to do this,
Right.
I've got a designer that I work with, and he does that
Mm-hmm.
work. I give him my vision, I give him what I want to accomplish, I give him my copy, and I let him go to town.
Mm-hmm.
When he's finished, he sends it back to me, and I've got thumbnails for the month.
Mm-hmm.
So, part of this using templates and outlines, and we're going to kind of jump here.
Mm-hmm.
I then jump into doing any research on the topic of things that I want to pull, books that I've read, notes that I've used over the years, that kind of thing, how I actually go about running a particular process.
Yes.
And then my next step is I write my script. I literally write out my script. Now, in my case, my script is bullet points. I do this all on a OneNote page. It's all in the same place.
Okay.
And but I'm going through a templated checklist that runs me through the process of preparing for the live stream. And I do it every week and I follow the exact same steps every week.
Mm.
If there's something I need to take out, I take it out because it's not going to be applicable for that time.
Mm-hmm.
And my show structure, I'm changing it, but I have a specific show structure. So if you're doing something, the newsletter, we created a structure of the newsletter as part of our launch process.
Mm-hmm.
What's the structure going to be so that we know when we go to produce it, we're not figuring it out. It's already, those decisions are already made. There is no decision to be made. Templates and outlines is really removes making a lot of routine decisions. You've made them. So now you're just running through them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
doing the thinking up front and then periodically if you've ever heard my show, you hear me talk about this 3-step process of plan, do, review.
Mm-hmm.
Plan what you're going to do it, and then review it and make adjustments as you go along. Templates and outlines help with that review process and the doing process.
Wow. I need Team Live in the YouTube or on LinkedIn. Give me a hashtag. Wow. She just dropped a power gem just on templates and outline. You could just take this one segment and just listen to it for the next 90 days to elevate your content creation to the next level.
Well, thank you.
Man, that's a great power tip. Tip number 4, having a comfortable workplace. You talked about
Is
Saturday mornings and getting, is it Folgers? Is it Maxwell House? Is it Dunkin' Donuts? Is it Starbucks?
you don't even want to know because my brother be getting some coffee. Like sometimes he has to warn me, don't drink that because you're gonna be up for 3 days. So we're all this stuff, but we are a coffee family, so we drink coffee. It gets our day started. So we both have our favorite mugs and all of that. That all plays. You all see me, and whenever you see me in the same spot. That's because this is a comfort zone for me.
Okay.
I'm a book person. I love having my books around me. I love books so much. This is about your comfortable workspace. I love books so much and read so much that I have every closet in my home. Every closet has customized bookshelves built into it.
Okay.
Even my clothes closet, there's a section in it that is a bookshelf. That's how much I read and how many books I have. And it's been that way my entire life because I grew up in a home with books where we did a lot of reading.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for me, this is my comfort zone. I can sit here in the office and work for hours. Excuse me. And not get distracted, not get tired. I have a chair that I like, and I have around me what I like using. I'm a pen snob. So this is an example. This morning, I said, what pens do you want to use this week? This is a pen that's made out of lava. So it's a regular pen. You can use whatever, but it's important to me. And that's what makes a difference. I find a space that works for you. One of our community members, I love his space and I wish I could replicate it. Ash has, I look at it and I just go, oh, I wish I could replicate that space. It's nice, it's cozy, it's pleasant, it looks good. He has everything that he needs within arm reach to do the work that he's doing. And he's made it his own. Right?
Right.
I actually love just watching his show to look at his space. That sounds kind of kooky maybe, but it works for me because that's, it's that little cozy, warm, I want to be there kind of space. And so figure out what that is. If a clean surface is for you, then make sure your space has a clean surface. If you like lots of art, have the art around you, but make it someplace you want to be. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's, but make it someplace you want to be. When I do my weekly planning, I actually don't do it in this space. I have this big red leather chair that is so comfortable you can sink down in it. I get
Mm-hmm.
in that chair. I've got a small desk there. I plug in everything that I want to plug in, and I just sit there and I plan
Mm-hmm.
with my cup of coffee.
With your Folgers coffee. Man,
It's
that's
not
that's
Folgers.
hey.
Half the time I don't know what it is, but it's whatever he done put in there, and I drink it.
Mm-hmm. Those
But
of you
that
in the
comfortable space.
I'm sorry. Those of you in the chat, let me know what's your comfortable workplace. Where's your zone? When you say I'm in the zone of being creating content, planning for content, let me know in the chat your favorite workplace. What works for you? What gets the juices flowing when you say, boom, this is my space where I'm going to create greatness for my audience? Let us know in the chat. And if you're getting great value, which I know I am, I'm being selfish this morning. I'm trying to pay attention to the chat, but I'm being selfish because this is great. I got to watch the replay on this a couple of times. Do me a favor, click that like button, give us a thumbs up, share this on your favorite social media platform. Uh, Same as far as on LinkedIn as well. If you're watching the replay up to this point, I want to thank you. And make sure you give us a hashtag team replay in the comment section. To my online listeners, those of you who are working out in the gym, those of you who are working at work, or just having a nice summer walk day because it's so nice out here, give us a hashtag team replay when you have a moment. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I want to encourage you to subscribe. Click the alert notification button so you will be alerted when we go live. You can get some great value. Tip number 5, using a content calendar. With so many calendars from Google, calendars on our phone, calendars on our desktop, what's your best recommendation to be able to create a practical, I think you said a while back, a calendar that you can work that calendar. I forgot how you said it, but a
Mhm.
calendar that really works and gets stuff done for you.
So, first, you got to know what you want, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
planning out, I go back to goals, 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 goals. But you got to know what you want to accomplish. And by that, I mean, how much content are you wanting to put out in this specific instance?
Mm-hmm.
Is it X number of live shows? I'm going to use Ash because one day I aspire to get even a fraction of where he is, and you
Mm-hmm.
all are. He puts out content very methodically.
Mm-hmm.
He's very methodical about it. So he hits at certain times with certain types of things all the time. That means he's intentionally decided what his goals were.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it with Podcasters Hub, I'm gonna say it wrong.
Podcasters
Ash,
Creator Hub.
Podcasters Creators Hub that
Mm-hmm.
I look at every day, and or the Ash Borland
Mortgage brokers.
product, mortgage broker, but the product hits that uh, the word is in my brain. It won't come out right now.
Okay.
That asset, the asset, right? So
Mm-hmm.
each of them have their own life. Whatever he wants to accomplish with that. Same with Denise with this and that. She's doing this 30-day declutter challenge. Girl, let me just tell you, I feel guilty every time I watch one. I'm like, but anyway, I'm gonna get there. So, so I was looking at my closet. I was like, oh, I need to go in here and declutter some of these clothes. But knowing what your goals are from a content creation standpoint, how much do you want to put out and who do you want to reach? That's the first thing. Without having any tool, the tool doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
tool does not matter. Knowing what you want to accomplish is step one.
Mm-hmm.
Then you figure out your tool. I'll give you an example, and you may not be able to read this, but this is my May. Yeah, you can't read it but
Hold on.
in
Hold on.
May, I don't know how
Let's
to do
do
this.
this.
But in May, what I did was I mapped out everything that I wanted to accomplish on paper first from a content creation. And I've started on June already. So I know I'm putting out the newsletter here, my Winning Wednesday quotes, because I do a quote on Wednesdays and specifically geared toward LinkedIn, but it's related to the overall topic and theme for the month. Then the show on Friday and some other things that I'm starting to work in. So knowing what those are, I told you, I do it on paper first because my brain works with me getting a pen and just scratching it out. Once I've done that, I actually use a Google Calendar. And I'm going to tell you why I do this more than any other reason. And you'll see how my systems come together. I then map that into my content calendar on Google. I tried doing a spreadsheet, didn't work because of the way my brain works. So I put it in a Google Calendar so I know every week what those things are, what that content is, the newsletter, the Winning Wednesday, when I'm going to put out posts on some, what are they called? Groups that you're in, accountability groups.
Okay.
When I'm going to send out emails to people who that I want to get emails out. All of that is in that calendar. And this is the reason for me using a Google Calendar specifically. With my Evernote, my Google Calendar links to it. So when I create my page, my note for working through a piece of content, links, graphics, thoughts, script, timeline, all of that goes in that. I link it to that calendar in Evernote. So that if I want to get back to it, all I've got to do is open my Evernote account, go to that day on the calendar. It's in Evernote, and that's coming in from my Google Calendar, and it's linked right there. I don't have to look anywhere. And it's tied to my Google Calendar. So I got one place. I've worked it out on paper. I've done my thinking. It's really about doing your thinking ahead of time. What is it you want to accomplish, and when do you want to accomplish it? Your very first thing you talked about is setting goals and deadlines. If you don't know that part, having all this other stuff makes no difference because this is not going to be productive for you.
Gotcha.
And because of the way I use my system, you can do this with other tools. I'll give you an example. I know that Ash uses OneNote. OneNote you can pull in, especially if you use Outlook, and I don't know if it's true for Google, but you can pull in calendar events into a OneNote page, and you can do a very similar type of process within OneNote. So all of your content, and I actually do this at work because I use Windows and the whole Microsoft ecosystem for work, and I use Mac for anything that's not my work. So that's why I have both of them, and I use them almost identically, which is kind of weird, but that's where it came from. So all that content, when I'm planning a project at work, I do all that thinking and connecting right in OneNote, and I pull my calendar in. So when I want to know when did I do that, or when am I supposed to do that, or when did I think about it, it's tied to my calendar. I don't have to go back and look for it, and it's tied together in my note-taking system, and I don't have to go back and look for it.
Man, this is good. This is good. This is
so
good.
Figuring out your goal, figuring out when. If you've got, like me, I talked about this Winning Wednesday. I've got my hashtags in a text expansion snippet that I want to use. I did a whole month on text expansion. So that the different properties, I've got tags in a text expansion snippet. All of it ties together. So I type a couple of letters and bloop, it's in my note. Bloop, it's in LinkedIn. I don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it. But I figured out what I want on paper, thought it through, put it into a timeline, got it in my calendar, and every day when I look, it's going to show up because I'm going to open up Evernote. My whole calendar for the day is there.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't have to go looking any place else.
Boom. This is good. This is good, Huddle community. She dropping gems. She dropping some serious gems on how me and you can be more productive in creating content, being more productive in life, career, wherever your area of interest on where you're looking to go to the next level. These are gems. You got a team replay, the crew, the posse, the online squad. I know y'all gonna show up big on this one. Y'all gonna show up big. Let's get into summary. Summary. We've talked about goals. We talked about eliminating those distractions. You know, those that on that phone there, that distractions, templates, workspace, and calendars. This is what's going to take to get to the next level, to move the needle. Got any questions? I'm sorry, Florence. Go ahead.
I was going to say, really, it sounds like I do a lot. And I guess maybe I do. But
You
really,
do.
what I'm
To me, it
learning
does.
is I'm taking, and this is a kind of a bonus tip.
Mm.
We go further with other people. We go faster along, but we go further with other people. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to progress because of the Huddle community. And I never want to not honor what I've learned and what I continue to learn. I am a strong believer in going further with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I study and watch and pay attention to, and I do my best to apply the lessons from those I respect and who have gone before me
Mm-hmm.
in this content creation. So that's a bonus tip for everyone. Don't try to figure out everything on your own. There is a wealth of knowledge of people who are willing to work with us and help us. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that I have to be in your ear like I do Walter and Tech Troublemaker every week. But I Ash is one of, I watch Ash literally, when I tell you every day, Ash, I watch something you've produced 7 days a week. Denise, I watch you every week. And because I watch you, I'm able to make progress not only in my home, but in how I see you're producing your content, what it looks like, how frequent it is, what you leave out, what you put in. Walter, I'm not even going to start on you because we're not gonna be, you're not gonna have me crying and sniffling and snotting out here in
No,
these
we don't
digital
want you to do
streets.
that.
And Tech Troublemaker is the same.
Mm-hmm.
So the bonus is in all of this
Yes.
to get better is to rely on those people in your community, the people who are close, who care about you,
Mm-hmm.
and learn from what they're doing and get better. I didn't know anything about live streaming, and I knew nothing about content creation.
Mm-hmm.
I knew about productivity and systems. But with the help of this community, I'm learning what I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Here you go. Bonus tip.
There's capital BONUS. Let's questions. Get your questions in the chat. Give me a big capital Q. Get us some questions as we wait for you. You say, Walter, what happened to the win of the week? Win of the week is in the community tab. So drop your win of the week on the community tab. So we've replaced the win of the week with questions so that way we can leave informed, educated, and equipped to do great things. We wait for questions. Let's go with this one question here. What are the most effective ways to prioritize tasks and manage time to creating content? And we kind of touched on this, but let's go a little deeper with it.
So, to me, the most effective way
Mm-hmm.
is every week figure out what your big rocks are. Break down your roles as a content creator.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I mean, if you're the script writer, if you are the designer, if you are the person, especially if you're doing guest, if you're the person who handle the logistics for the guest, those are all different roles. And if you're running a business, whether it's big, small, or in between, you've got some administrative and financial things you need to take care of in your business. So break down all of those roles specifically related to your content creation work or content marketing work, as Ash calls it, and then say, what are the big rocks, the big things? I'm not talking the routine. The routine, you got it down. You've got a routine for a reason. But those things that are non-routine tasks, figure out what's important for the week or maybe 2 weeks ahead. And then set your intention in your plan, not in your mind, written down. Doesn't matter if you use paper or digital, but wherever you plan, write it down so you can see it objectively. You're not just, it's not running around in your head making you crazy. Then you can say, these are the things that are priorities for me for this week. These are the tasks. These are the goals. And then if you have a goal, then you're going to have tasks that you have to accomplish the goal. The example I'll use is the newsletter. I had to post social media. I had to write pre-launch emails. I posted pre-launch content on my Buy Me a Coffee page. All of those were tasks, writing them, editing them, and then posting them. And those were my priorities for the week because I had a deadline to launch.
That's good. That's good. Question 2. How can one balance work and personal life to achieve maximum productivity? And when I thought about this question, we were talking about how individuals can have pets, and the thought came up to me, okay, it's time for me to go live, but Thor, let's call, I don't have a pet, but let's say if I had a dog named Thor, he jumps in my lap and he wants to go out and play and do what dogs do. How do I better balance that as a content creator, or even Fifi? Fifi's a cat. Let's take it from the pet aspect. Let's take it from the pet aspect. As content creators, you're ready to upload and upload a video or go live. How do you get better balance at that, so that way you can be focused on creating content but give Fifi or Thor the attention they need?
The first thing I'm going to say, because we hear this term work-life balance consistently, that does not exist. Work-life balance does not exist. You have life. You have 24 hours. All of us have 1,440 minutes every day. There is no human that has any more or any less. So it's a matter of what your priorities are. If your priorities are, and all of us have different priorities. There are no two humans who have the same set of priorities. So first you got to know what your priorities are, what your goals are, what the things are that are important to you. If your fur baby is a priority, which I hope, if you have a fur baby, I hope your fur baby is a priority because they depend on you completely. Then your system has to accommodate, how do I deal with this? What do I need to do? Do I give them a special toy? Do I have a crate that I can put them in that they won't get upset? Do I have a room? Do I have a spouse or a child that can play with them? Do I need to get a pet sitter to come and get them at a certain time? Those are things you have to think through and plan for, right? Or if your fur baby is somebody you want to have on camera with you, which it may be, then it's okay. There's a content creator, Paul Duncan, that you may not be familiar with, but Maestro, his beautiful black fur baby, is often in his scene. And
Mm.
those of us who watch him know there goes Maestro.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cute. But if that's not your jam,
Mm-hmm.
then Maestro or Fifi or Thor, you've got to work out a plan to make sure they're taken care of the way they need to be taken care of. And you have to think about it ahead of time, not in the moment when now you're ready to do something and they're want to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're like, which one takes priority?
Mm-hmm.
You got to think about it ahead of time. I did this thinking of work-life balance Thursday. I realized Thursday morning I was not cooking dinner was not going to happen in this household
Mm-hmm.
because of the way my day was going on Thursday. I realized it early in the morning when I was looking at my plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, we're having brought in dinner tonight. And that was just a decision. The only second decision was what time is it going to get here?
Okay.
And so sometimes you're making a different decision than what you would want to do because it's the best for that day or that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We all got to eat. People in this household like food.
Mm-hmm.
Got to feed them.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that I am always going to be the one in the kitchen or somebody else. So my brother and I share a house.
Mm-hmm.
We both cook, but sometimes we're both doing something else. And so we make the decision today we're not going to cook.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have it brought in, or we're going to eat leftovers or whatever. Or we're going to grab a quick salad and that's all we're going to eat. So that's the balance part. The other is it goes back to your goals with your family.
Mm-hmm.
What's important to you and your family? Then you know what to cut out, what to say no to, and who to say no to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That can be the big part. Who do I say no to? Because I don't want to disappoint anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But you have 1,440 minutes every day. No human has any more or any less. How are you going to use it? If that 1,440 minutes is worth $1,000 a minute, how are you going to use it?
Mm-hmm. Man, how are you going to use it? There you go. This has been great. If individuals want to be able to get more in contact with you, the links and everything are on there, but I want to give you the moment to shine as the stream deck right here. I got to give you your Beyonce moment. Shining, 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 shining.
My goodness.
All of this
He did
winning.
not say Beyonce moment. Could you pick somebody else, please?
I'm sorry. That's the song that came in my head.
I mean, no disrespect. The woman is a beast when it comes to her art. But could you pick somebody else, please?
Okay, I can't think. This the song. All of this winning. If people want to get more in contact with you, your flow is yours. All of this winning, Josh, man. All of this winning here.
So I am on this journey with everyone else, be productive as a content creator, to do better, to do a much more effective job, to get better at the craft of content creation. It is a craft, and there's so many skills to learn and to sharpen. And every day is an opportunity for me to improve. It's planning my week, my day, my month, and doing the thinking ahead of time. So I can lay out the plan and then I'm simply executing. I'm not trying to think and plan and do all at the same time. That will not work for anyone. Don't care who you are or how brilliant you are. Doing it all at the same time will not work. So break it up into small pieces. Figure out those small tasks. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. You would be amazed at what you can accomplish. And then you have to decide, what are you not going to do? Where are you going to get help? You can't do everything. You're one person with one life with 1,440 minutes. For me, Equip Institute YouTube channel, come see me there, and then we'll go where you need to go. Thank you.
All right, Florence, man, this has been special. This has been
Oh,
like a landmark special huddle episode that I know they say it's okay to cry and to tear. I'm just trying to keep my emotions in check because seeing where were in September of 2022 to just the small amount of progress you made now to May 2023, I'm like, man, the best is still to come. And so I want to thank you for just gracing us with your presence and being a part of the Huddle community and just being a friend and a partner in content creation. So thank you again.
thank
Thank you
you. And I
again.
thank the Huddle community because I couldn't do this without each and every member of the Huddle community. I really, truly have to say, I could not do what I'm doing. I rely on you all so much,
Hmm.
so very much, that it's how I can do what I'm doing.
Hmm. Great, great. I want to go ahead and put you in the green room right quick. We're going to wrap this up. But again, thank you so much for just helping us to produce a great piece of content that is definitely going to make some instant changes in some people's lives in the days and the weeks to come. Perfect. All right, there, Huddle community. Man, this has been epic. This has been epic. What is your takeaway in the chat? What is your takeaway from this episode on being productive? What's your takeaway? Let me know in the chat your takeaway. This Denise says, "Wow, thank you." No, thank you. Thank you for and wow, this has been epic. This has been epic. And you gotta watch the replay on this one. So everyone in the chat of Team Live, I need to see you on Team Replay because I want you to get this. I want you to get this, whether in content creation or being productive in life. I need you to get this as I wait for more responses. How can you get in contact with me and connect? Let's put this up on a big screen. Put me smaller there. There we go. You can connect with me either on YouTube or on my website, walterstrong3rd.com. Buy me a coffee. We are hard at work on improving the buy me a coffee. So the donation option is there, but membership is coming. Membership is coming, and we are working on some products and some services that is only going to be available on the Buy Me a Coffee. It won't be available on YouTube. So stay tuned. It's definitely a stay tuned. And then also, I want to encourage you if you are new to live streaming or you just need some extra help on being able to have a better engaging live stream, you can get a copy of our live stream checklist by going to the description of YouTube, and you'll find the link there, and it'll take you to our email mailing list and being a part of the Huddle community and downloading a free copy of your live stream checklist. That's going to help you to become a more effective content creator. So, again, I want to thank Florence for coming on and just dropping some power gems on how to be more productive in content creation in life. And so, as we wrap this up, man, I want to keep this going, but we got things to do. You got things to do. You got this replay to watch, just like me. And so as we bring this to a close, I want to encourage you to let you know that if you feel broken in an area of your life, whatever it's relationships, broken in terms of in your journey of content creation, or even in your mental health, I want to encourage you today. Broken crayons steal color. Not the new crayons that are in the new box that haven't been took out, that haven't went through anything. I'm talking about the broken crayons that are in the basket or in the plastic bag with the other broken crayons that sometimes they rub up against you or the paper gets turned off, in the hands of a child, they have the ability to create some of the greatest masterpieces. I need you just to humble yourself and begin to let God use you to create your next masterpiece of content creation. God bless.